Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to make the fabric or the paper covered pencils that you've seen on the tutorial posted above. I have a few things here, like there's these number 2 pencils, and then I wanted to try and see if I could cover these pens. This one, the little top comes off, so it'd probably be easier to measure and figure out how you're going to glue it and stuff like that, and then just put the little top back on. And then this one, the top doesn't come off, or I'm afraid to take it off, afraid it won't go back on, so I'm going to see if I can maybe glue it around here, or you know, just see how I can use it. The easiest thing to do is the pencils, though, because they are pretty much perfect in size. You don't have to, they sharpen easily, you don't have to finagle anything. You just measure it, cut it, and it's done. So I'm going to show you, obviously you need some pens, pencils to cover a self-cutting mat board, or a self-healing mat board, cutting board, what am I talking about? A X-Acto. You can use scrapbook paper. This is probably a little bit too thick, so you might want to use something like origami paper. I have some here in this color. I'm going to try that. Some designs. These are just thinner and they would roll around easier. You can use those to cover the pencils. It'd probably work best on something like this. I also have a page paper here that I made in my class. It's kind of crappy. I don't know. It's methyl cellulose and acrylic paint on a piece of cardstock. And then also some handmade paper from my paper making class. This is just some garbage pulp. It's obviously blue because we use a lot of denim. A lot of different fibers in here. There's some abaca, there's some longer fibers, some thicker fibers, something like that. So this is really thin also, and it also is long enough to fit on the pencil, so it would probably roll around easily. You're also going to need scissors. I didn't have my, measuring tape. I couldn't find it, so I'm going to use a piece of ribbon, and I'm just going to wrap it around and mark it and cut it, and then that'll be the length that I need to cut my strip of paper. A paintbrush for your Mod Podge, which is having a little Gladware container here. I use Mod Podge on the other ones. These other ones that I made here they're kind of crappier. I don't really like it. The paper was too thick. They haven't been sharpened. I don't ever use number 2 pencils like this. I usually use mechanical ones or pens, so they haven't ever been sharpened, but they are yeah, they're just made like this. The one seems to be a bit shorter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, let's try this pen first. We're going to take our strip of ribbon. I'm just going to even up this edge here. We're going to wrap it around here and measure it, and then you want it to overlap about 1/4 inch. Yeah, we'll use we'll use this guy here. I'm going to flip it over because I don't want to ruin it, and we can just sort of eyeball this. Use our pen that we have. Mark a line. Move it down. Mark another line. And then you're going to want to get a straight edge. So I've got a paint strip here. I don't have a straight edge, so I just picked up a stupid little paint strip that I have because I'm crazy. And we're going to line up the little dots. And we can take our X-Acto knife. So there you have it. Let's see, if I measure it out, it's probably about 1 3/4 inches. Yeah. And we can lay it, oops, I'm going to try and use this pen. Lay it here. Mark how long it is. Eyeball it a little bit. Here's our pen again. And even, I have this, my cutting mat has lines on it, so I can use this guy and line it up. Okay, so you end up with a strip of paper like so. And see, that fits all the way around there. Like this. So we can take our Mod Podge, and I'm going to grab the back of something that I don't really care about and take it. Get the glue off your hands. Now you have the paper on there. I'm going to go back in and use my X-Acto knife and just trim off. Push them down in there. Now it's covered with the paper. You can see. Then you can take another bit of Mod Podge. You can take another bit of Mod Podge. I have a dust on my finger. And cover it back on there. This, oops, backwards. This little guy fits down on there, and then this fits on top of that. So, you can see it's kind of cool. You can take another bit of Mod Podge, and it's best to take maybe something like this, and once you coat it, sort of kind of waterproofs it or whatever. I'm just going to get little bits of it off in this way. And then you take it and you can set it in there and it'll dry. It won't it'll have, you know, less of a chance of being ruined. And so we can do the same thing with our pencil. This one, I guess this one's for the Christmas, for the season, you know, if you want to make these like stocking stuffers or whatever. This one's a bit more festive. Like I said, pretty much anything. You can use wrapping paper. I'm sure that will work too. That'd probably be good if you wanted to have something with a really cool scene on it or whatnot. It'd be rather neat. So again, I'm going to take my piece, there's a little piece of ribbon, since I'm not going to cover that pin again, obviously. And then chop it. So now we have this little paper, the length of the pencil. Set it down in here like this, and then make sure they don't move, set those back over there. And so I have this pen, I have this pencil. Let's see if we can do the, so this is a handmade paper. It is garbage pulp, it's not anything really fancy schmancy. And I'm going to use it to see if I can cover this pen, and I'm just going to try and even it up a bit, so I'm going to cut off a little bit more than I need. Put it on like this. I think I'm not going to measure out how much to use because it'll be probably harder to work with just a small area, whereas if you want to have a large area to roll over. This pen I just got somewhere. I think it was I found as my roommate's, is something I grabbed off of from work. I don't know. So I'm just going to glue this little part up. We'll push this guy over here. Line them up, make sure it's covering the logo. Press it down a little bit. Okay, then we can sort of roll it over. I don't know, now you have little bits of stuff that you can use. You can, on Etsy, I'm sure people make handmade papers that you can pick up. You can order offline if you wish. They probably aren't going to be too bad. I don't know, I haven't looked that up, but I'm just trimming off some little dubs that I see here. So then now you have that seam done. And I mean, this was the pen that I was writing with that inspired this, and it's covered. You can see. There you go.